Hi, this is Patti Sheeley with BigFluffyFat.com, and today I want to talk to you about summer fun, summer food. As the summer comes on, and by the way, today is Memorial Day, and I want to say salute all the veterans out there. I'm a veteran as well, served 3 years in the United States Air Force, and I was honored to serve my country, and I want to just give kudos to all the veterans out there. But beyond that, as we move into the summer season, this is one of the hardest time of year for at least me and many other people, I believe, to maintain a healthy body weight. And it coincides with the very same time of year that we're all wanting to go outside in our swimsuits and enjoy the beach or the swimming pool or whatever, or just run around in our shorts and show off all the weight we're putting on, or hopefully not putting on. And so it's challenging because there are vacations, there's summertime parties, there's picnics, there is fresh churned ice cream. There's all these things available to us in the summer. That's food is just part of the festivities, and yet it's very, very tough sometimes to maintain a healthy body weight and to not put on weight as we're enjoying all the festivities. And so today I want to talk about some of the challenges we face whenever there's parties and vacations and just the need for convenience. You're driving, making a road trip from point A to point B, and where is there to stop to pick up something healthy? So I want to talk with you a little bit about the first part, and I believe the most important part, which is really the commitment aspect of thinking about what you're committed to as you're faced with all these summertime events. And are you committed? Many of us are committed to pleasure, and really it's okay to be committed to pleasure, but I think we need to define that. When I was obese, I would go to a vacation or a party or an event, and frankly, one of the biggest highlights that I was looking forward to was the food. What are they going to fix? What am I going to put in my mouth here? And that was how I defined pleasure. But now I've learned to go, okay, do I want to enjoy this event? Yes. But what do I want to enjoy about the event? And the thing that I have come to is if I can focus on developing the relationships with the people that are there, making a new friend or developing an old friendship, that allows me to enjoy the event even more. And many times the pleasure that I derive from developing that relationship or those relationships better, it endures because now I have a new person in my life that's a part of my support structure, or just maybe they're just a lot of fun. But if I focus on that as being my primary pleasure and not food, it gives me something to direct my attention on besides that fresh churned ice cream or whatever your weakness happens to be. A second thing to consider is who am I committed to pleasing? Very often hostesses or hosts, they have their famous bratwurst sandwich, and they want everybody to enjoy that because they're very proud of that recipe. They go to great lengths to get that food and to present it, and they're so proud of it. And you know what? We should enjoy that. We should respect that. But what we should do is eat it in reasonable portions. And for me, I'm very careful about that. I want to enjoy it. And I'll tell them, for whatever reason, I can eat this much of this. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy the flavor, but I won't feel good. I'll feel bloated and I'll feel not good, and I won't enjoy the rest of the party if I overeat this wonderful food that you're presenting. And so focus on who are you going to please? Are you going to please someone else who wants to dictate what you eat because that's their way of welcoming you? Or are you going to set your own boundaries and say, you know what? My pleasure is derived from a different place, and I want to talk with you, and I want to get to know you, because honestly, that person most likely did not invite you to that event because they thought you were starving to death. They invited you to that event to share love with you. And the idea of developing that relationship, of helping them if they need help, of talking to them, sharing your heart, hearing their heart, developing that is so much more powerful. And it really gets back to the bottom line of why we really get together over food. It's really about relationships anyway. So surfacing that issue and saying, you know what, I'm going to eat to satisfy my body's needs. And if someone is a little bit displeased with how I eat, that's okay. I don't have to please everybody. The third thing I want to talk to you about in terms of commitment is personal wellness. And I've touched on this in some of the previous ones, but the idea of having a goal that at the end of the summer, you want your health to be as good or better than it was at the beginning. And a part of that means at these events, instead of standing around the buffet table, go to the kitchen and help wash the dishes, or or hang out with the guys that are playing badminton or tennis or frisbee or whatever they're doing, or even going into the living room and petting the dog. But find something to do that's not central on food, that's going to allow you to do something that's going to at least not work against your personal wellness. And if it involves physical activity that's safe for you to do, it could even accentuate your wellness while you're building those relationships. So I want to talk a little bit. So that's what I like to think of in terms of having my commitment, knowing about where am I going to derive my pleasure? Who am I going to try to please? And how am I going to pursue personal wellness? Now, beyond that, from that mindset comes strategy. And I want to just talk about a few tips regarding strategy. The first one is, if it's a party, bring something to share. Or if you're on a road trip and okay, I'm going to be in the car for 8 hours on the way from point A to point B, pack some food. Pack some apples or some nuts or whatever, so that it won't be hard if you're in a sort of food desert situation where the best thing that you can find is something deep fat fried and full of sugar. You can go, oh, well, I have a bottle of water, an apple, and a handful of almonds. Maybe I ought to just eat that here at the gas station as I service my car, and then get back in and move on. And that will help you to feel good about what you've eaten on the way. And then, let's face it, the food on the road to our final destination is seldom the highlight of the trip. It's just a way to get from point A to point B. So knowing that, bring your own. Another thing you can do is at a party or an event, bring food that you can enjoy and bring enough to share. So we're having a Memorial Day event that I'm attending today, and I'm going to bring a fruit salad, and it's going to have strawberries and blueberries and something else that's white, so it'll be a red, white, and blue fruit salad, and I'm going to bring plenty to share, and I'm going to enjoy the food at the party, but frankly, I'm going, well, if I load up on my fruit salad, I'm going to do a lot better as far as resisting temptation, because I'll have something to be working on while everybody else is there eating what they would choose to eat. And that keeps us from being preachy and going, I'm going to bring my brown bag of, something that's 300 calories or less because all you other people are just unhealthy the way you eat. Just bring something to share and enjoy. Another thing to do is focus on your real reason. We talked a little bit ago about our commitment. Well, focus on your real reason for that event. And you know your commitment, but think in terms of a purpose for you to attend. I want to build a relationship with my neighbor. I want to get to know this person because they seem to need a friend right now, and I want to be a resource for them. I want to help in the kitchen because, man, this hostess seems to have a lot on her plate right now, and I don't want her to be overwhelmed, so I'm going to help out. What is your reason for going there? And you focus on that. And whenever you're tempted to go and hang out by the food and just fill your plate repeatedly, instead do something pertaining to what your focus for the event is. It doesn't always work out perfectly, but if you walk in with a strategy and you fulfill that strategy 80 to 90% of the time, you're going to be so far ahead of where you would have been had you not had a strategy. So this is Patti Sheeley talking about summer food and summer fun, and hoping you have a great summer this year.